Hi, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mary. For today's practice, we're going to be cultivating gratitude in honor of the Thanksgiving holiday that's coming up. So let's start in a position on our backs. Find a place that's comfortable and just settle in to practice. You could have your knees up. Sometimes it feels good to have your feet a little bit wider and have your knees knocked together. You could bring your arms overhead in a slight prayer position, maybe bending your elbows. If that's not comfortable, you can have your hands by your side, whatever works for you. Start to draw attention to your breath, noticing your inhales and your exhales, not trying to manipulate your breath, just noticing. Bring awareness to any parts of your body that you may be holding tension. Your face, your jaw, your tongue, shoulders, neck, and just see if you can let that tension go. So rest here. I'm going to read a quote to you that I really love about gratitude. It's by Henry Van Dyke. Gratitude is the inward feeling of kindness received. Thankfulness is the natural impulse to express that feeling. Thanksgiving is the following of that impulse. So for today's practice, I want you to think about things that you're grateful for. Things like being grateful for your breath, grateful for your body being able to move, thankful that you're alive. So when you're ready, roll onto your side and we'll come to an all fours position to start our practice. So bring your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers, and we'll just warm up the spine a little bit with cat-cow. So start as you inhale, bring your chest and tailbone up to the sky. And then as you exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, tuck in your tailbone, and really arch your spine. And let's do that a couple of times with breath. Moving up, exhaling, tucking in. And we'll do that one more time. And then come to a neutral spine and just start by moving side to side just to loosen up your wrists a little bit. And then forward and backwards. Not overstretching your wrists, but just enough to give a little bit of a pressure to stretch out your wrists. Now curl your toes, lift your knees off the ground. We'll stay here just for a breath. Tighten your core, bring your belly button into your spine. Now slowly bring your hips up towards the sky, keeping your knees very bent. Let your neck relax. And pedal your feet just to open up the muscles in the back of your legs. Maybe giving your head a little no, yes shake. Just feeling in where you feel any tight spots, maybe some sore spots. And remember to be very gentle with yourself if you have any injuries, tight or sore spots. Now look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to a halfway lift with a really straight back, the crown of your head pressing forward. Exhale, hinge and fold, keeping your knees very bent, feeling your thighs pressing on your belly and chest. Let your neck completely relax. And you could hold on to opposite elbows, maybe swaying from side to side. Just coming into your body
Once again, recognizing any areas that might be trouble spots for today. And we're slowly going to rise up. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest, rounding your spine as you come up. And then let your head come up as the last thing. So come to the front of your mat, and we're just going to do a couple arm stretches. So hold on to your right arm with your left hand and just stretch over to the left. So standing up tall, your feet will be about a hip width distance apart. So feeling the stretch along the outside of your shoulder of your right arm. You could look over to the right if it feels accessible to your neck. So that gives a little neck stretch as well. And then you can release, and we'll just do a couple little shakes. Maybe roll your shoulders back and forward. And then let's just do the same on the other side. So hold on to your left hand with your right and pull your left arm over to the right. Sometimes, so I'm trying to do mirroring, so I have to say the opposite thing, and I have a lot of trouble with left and right as it is, so bear with me. Once again, now feeling the stretch along your left arm. And then you can release and just give a couple little shakes. So now bring your hands behind your back and kind of if it's okay, into a reverse prayer pose. So this might feel very tight. So if that's too tight for you, you could clasp your hands behind your back. So stand up tall. We're just going to do a little slight arch of the back. So if your hands are clasped, draw your knuckles towards the earth. Draw your shoulder blades back. So feel the opening in your chest. If you're in this reverse prayer pose, you can do that as well. It's really a nice pose to stretch out your wrists. And we'll just take one more breath and then release and just give another little shake. Now come to the top of your mat. Bring your arms out and up. Hinge and fold. Tense your fingers. Step your right foot back into low lunge. And then step your left foot back into downward dog. Breathe in, come to all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to keep our right hand straight. Bring your left hand to your left hip and just open up just a little bit. Drawing your left shoulder blade back. We'll stay here for a breath, and then as you exhale, come back to child's pose. Breathe in, come to all fours, and then curl your toes on your way to downward dog as you exhale. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift with a really straight spine, crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold, and then press your feet into the earth to rise up, bringing your arms out and up. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in and then hinge and forward fold. Tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step your right foot back to downward dog. Breathe in, come to all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. This time, bring your right hand to your right hip, keeping your left arm straight. Just open up, so feeling the stretch along your left side body. We'll take one more breath here. And then bring your right arm straight into child's pose. And when you're ready to take a breath in, come to all fours. And then exhale, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. In downward dog, have your fingers spread. Put a little bit more weight on your index finger and thumb. Bring your hips up towards the sky and your heels towards the earth. So feeling the length along your back and the back of your legs. When you're ready to take a breath in, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift, really straight spine, crown of your head forward. Let all the air go as you hinge and fold, and then press into the ground to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. We'll take another full deep breath in, arms out and up. And then hinge and fold, bring your hands through your heart center, tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge, and then let your right knee go onto the ground. And then we're going to press up. You could keep your hands on your left knee. Typically, you would put the top of your foot on the ground, but I'm getting a little bit of a cramp, so I'm going to keep mine up. So do what works for you. Now, as you breathe in, bring your arms up, and then we're going to place right hand on left knee and just do a little slight back bend. So it's kind of like a reverse warrior. And then bring your arms down to frame your foot. Step your left foot back into plank, or you could go to plank on knees, whatever feels good for you. And then lower all the way to your belly. Place the tops of your feet on the mat, rest your forehead on the earth. When you take a breath in, lift your chest up, draw your shoulder blades down and back into baby cobra. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So let your forehead rest to the ground and move with your own breath. So breathe in, bring your chest up, shoulder blades down and back. And then breathe out. And let's do that 1 more time. So breathing in and out. Now when you're ready to take a breath in, press into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. As you breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky, and we'll just do a couple of hip circles to start. Now point your right foot up to the sky, bend your right knee, and twist over to the left, so opening up, so feeling a stretch along your right side body. Your head could be neck relaxed, crown of your head to the floor, or you could look up to the right. Now bring your right foot up to the sky again, and then place your right foot down on the ground. Now look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Let's do the other side. So bring your arms up and wide, and then trace your hands through your heart center in a prayer pose. Tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge. Place your left knee on the ground. Press up. Place both hands to start on your right knee. If it feels okay, bring your arms up overhead, and then we're just going to do that little reverse. So bringing your right hand back, your left hand arching overhead. And then bring your hands to frame your right foot. Step into plank. Draw your navel to your spine. Plank on knees is good. In plank, if you're in plank, draw your heels towards the back of the room. So really stretching out the back of your ankle. Now everybody lower to your knees. Place the tops of your feet onto the earth. Lower your forehead to the ground. When you're ready to take a breath in, we're going to press up into cobra. So pressing up a little higher than we did first time, but still keeping your shoulders down and back, not craning your neck too much. So looking straight ahead. And we'll stay here for a breath or 2. And then when you're ready to exhale, lower all the way down to your mat, forehead on the ground. Press into all fours and then curl your toes on your way to downward dog, hips high and back. Take a breath in to lift your left leg up to the sky. Do some circles, big circles with your leg. One direction and then the other. Then bring your left leg up towards the sky, bend your left knee, and open up to the right. So this time, feeling the expansion and length along your left side body. Let your neck relax. Or you could look up over your left shoulder to get a little bit more of a neck stretch. Now bring your left foot up to the sky, one more stretch, and then set your left foot down. So now you can look to your hands and walk to your hands like we normally do, or if you're feeling ambitious, you could take a little hop. Come to halfway lift, hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground. We're going to rise up into chair pose. So keep your knees bent, your arms up, and then bring your hands to a prayer pose. And we'll stay here, just feeling the strength in your leg, having most of the weight in your heels. So you could lift your toes up and then just slightly place them down. So getting that feeling of having the weight in the back of your heel. Now we're gonna release, stretch up, tall, arms up and out. I guess out and up. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Hinge and forward fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back, ground your left foot into the earth. Press into your right foot to stand up, bring your hands on your hips, and then turn to the left to come into warrior two. So bring your arms out to each side, gazing out over your right fingertips. Notice if you're holding your shoulders tightly. See if you can draw your shoulder blades slightly back, so keep your shoulders down. Feel the strength in your front leg. And now feel the strength in your back leg, pressing a little bit more weight onto the knife edge of your back foot to really feel that strength in your back leg. So now when you're ready to take a breath in, flip your right palm and we'll reverse. So bringing your right arm overhead, draping your left hand behind the back of your left leg. Come back forward into warrior two, and then cartwheel your hands down, framing your right foot. Step your left foot to meet your right to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. Maybe your legs are a little bit straighter, but if that doesn't feel good, you can still keep a little bend to your knees, depending on how tight your hamstrings feel, how tight the back of your leg feels. Now press into the earth, rise up, arms out and up, and then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Bring your hands through heart center. Hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your right foot back, ground your right foot into the earth. Press into your left foot to rise up with your hands first on your hips. Turn to the left and then open up to warrior two. Once again, letting your shoulders relax, gazing out, this time over your left fingertips. Feeling the earth between your feet, really grounding both feet into the earth. Take a breath in, flip your left hand, and then reach your left arm over, draping your right hand along the back of your right leg. Come back into warrior two, and then cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot, step your right foot to meet your left and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take another full deep breath in, arms out and up. Bring your hands through your heart center. Tense your fingers, step your left foot back. Ground your left foot into the earth. Press into your right foot. Bring your hands on your hip. We're going to keep our hips and pelvis forward. Now we'll come into warrior one. Bring your arms up. Draw your shoulders down and reach your fingers up to the sky.
Now we're going to clasp our hands behind our back, drawing your knuckles towards the earth. We're going to inhale and draw your shoulder blades back, open up. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring right shoulder to right knee into devotional warrior. Let your neck relax. If it's too much to have your hands bound, you could just place your hands on the ground, but feel what's right for your body. Either way, let your neck relax and just settle in. Bring your hands to your hips, press up back into warrior one. Open your arms into a cactus shape, so bent elbows. Take a breath in, draw your shoulders back, and then as you exhale, bring your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back into plank. Lower all the way to your belly. And then we're going to press up into cobra. Exhale down. And then press into all fours and then curl your toes on your way to downward dog. Let your neck relax. You could walk your feet up to your hands or take a little hop. Come into halfway lift. Exhale, hinge and fold, and then press into the ground to rise up once again into chair pose. So knees bent. Start with your arms overhead, or you could bring your hands to prayer. So we'll stay here for a breath. And then release, so rise up, standing tall, and stand on your tippy toes to stretch up to the sky. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So press into the earth to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands through heart center, tent your fingers, step your right foot back, ground your right foot into the earth. Press yourself up into all fours, into warrior one. Bring your arms up. And then bring your hands behind your back, clasping if it feels okay. So drawing your knuckles towards the earth to really open up your chest bone. And then exhale, hinge and fold. So left shoulder to left knee, let your neck relax and settle in. Now bring your hands to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back into plank. Lower all the way to your belly. Press into cobra, or you could come into upward dog. So lift your knees and thighs off the earth, but still drawing shoulder blades back, looking straight ahead. And then lower all the way to your belly. Press yourself into all fours and then curl your toes on your way to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk or hop up and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So come to the top of your mat, starting in a nice Tadasana or mountain pose. Really ground your feet into the earth. Slight micro bend in your knees, standing up tall. Bring your hands to your hips, and then we're gonna bring our right foot off the ground to balance. And then if it feels okay, you could straighten your right foot. So your leg will be parallel, your right leg will be parallel to the earth. And we're going to hinge very slowly, like you're moving through molasses, and come into a warrior three position. So you could maybe bring your hands to your heart. If it feels okay, you could bring your hands out and arms out in front of you, really stretching the crown of your head forward, giving a flex to your right foot to give strength, like you're pressing back into the wall behind you with your right foot. Now, from here, we're going to just step your right foot back and come into a high crescent pose. So you could have your hands at your heart. Now bring both arms up to the sky, and then we're going to reverse. So bring your right hand back to drape up along your right leg and arch back with your left arm overhead. Once again, feeling that length along your left side body. You could gaze up at your left arm if that feels okay with your neck. And we're going to come out of this, bring your arms up into crescent. Now press off into your back foot, and we're going to come into airplane pose. So your chest will be up, your arms back. Once again, flexing your right foot, and then just step your right foot down. Take a full deep breath in. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So now let's do that on the other side. So stand in mountain pose first, get your balance, and then bring most of your weight to your right foot and bring your left foot up. You can start with your knee bent and then straighten your left leg. You could bring your arms out to the sides, maybe your hands to your heart in a prayer pose. Slowly tilt, bringing your left foot back, coming into warrior 3. This time really flexing your left foot, pressing your left foot like you're pressing into the wall behind you. You might have to orient yourself. Sometimes it's easy to open up to the left. So see if you can bring that left hip so that it's parallel to the earth. So from here, we're going to step back into a high crescent pose. So bring your hands to your heart, standing on the tippy toes on the ball of your back foot. Bring your arms up to the sky, and then we're going to bring our left hand back to drape over the back of your left leg and arch your right arm overhead. And then finding a neck placement that feels good for you, you could look up to your right arm. All right, and then bring your hands back into prayer pose. Press into your left foot to rise up. Once again, balancing on your right foot. Bring your arms behind you into airplane pose, flexing your left foot, opening up your heart. And then step your left foot to meet your right. Take a full deep breath in. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take another full deep breath in. Hinge and forward fold, and then come into all fours. And then from all fours, spread your fingers wide. Bring your left knee off the ground and then your foot up to the sky. And we're just going to open up to the right. It's getting a feeling for that stretch. So now place your right knee down. Now, getting your balance on your left hand and left knee, hold on to the back of your right foot with the top of your hand, and we're going into a kind of a stretching pose where your right hand is holding onto your right foot, opening up a little bit to the left, and then coming down, and then we'll right away go on to the other side. So get your balance on your right knee and right hand. Hold on to the top of your left foot with your left hand, and really feel the stretch along the top of the front of your left leg, and open up a little bit to the right. And then come to all fours. Now we'll come onto your belly, and we'll do a bow pose. So bend your knees And then hold on to the tops of your feet with your hands. So right hand, right foot, left hand, left foot. And we're going to come up into bow pose. So you could stay right here if that feels okay for you. Or you could press your feet into your hands and rise up, drawing your shoulder blades back, not craning your neck too much. So looking just a little bit forward. Feeling the earth pressing into your belly, feeling the openness across your shoulders. And then release. And you can just bring your hands in front of you, so rest your forehead on the top of your hands. And we'll take a breath here. Now we'll press into all fours and then sink into child's pose. Bring your arms in front of you in a prayer pose, so the palms of your hands will be facing one another. So really stretching your arms long. You could stay here, or you could bend your elbows. So just bringing that prayer pose to the top of your head. And we'll just stay here for a breath or two. So from here, we're going to come into our final resting pose. So you have two options here. So you can come onto your belly, bring your hands out in front of you, rest your forehead on the mat so your palms of your hands will be together. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you could have your hands in like a cactus position, or you could have your rest your forehead on your hands, on the top of your hands. If those positions don't feel good for you, you could come into the more traditional Shavasana shape where you're on your back. So why don't you take a moment to figure out what feels good to you. And then once you arrive, I'm going to guide you through a meditation. It's from a book that I love. It's called The Gratitude Jar, A Simple Guide to Creating Miracles by Josie Robinson. So in whatever position that you've decided to land, once again, come back to your breath. Just noticing your inhales and your exhales, and feeling gratitude for that breath that you have. Gratitude for your heart that pumps blood through your body throughout the day and night, all day, all night. Take a long, slow, deep breath in and slowly let the air go. Take a couple of those breaths, deep inhales and slowly letting the air go. And as you're breathing, feel any tension melting away as you gradually relax with each breath. Feel yourself drifting into a state of deep relaxation. Take a moment to notice if there are any areas that are holding tension. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head and picture a warm, loving golden light spreading from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Feel how the light relaxes the muscles surrounding and protecting you. Take a moment to reflect on all the things that you are grateful for. your loved ones, the breath in your lungs, sunshine, fresh air, a wonderful dinner that you had. Maybe it's a compliment from a family member or a coworker, whatever comes to mind. As each gratitude appears, visualize yourself saying the words thank you to each. Picture the person you're grateful for standing in front of you and tell them how grateful you are for them and why. Make the image and feeling as real as you can. If you're having a difficult time coming up with gratitudes, seek the highest part of yourself and ask them to reveal it to you. Allow the feeling of deep gratitude to come into your body. Notice where in your body that feeling resides. Take a few deep breaths and allow this feeling to expand. Enjoy the pleasant feeling of gratitude that it gives you and feel it washing away any tension and negativity. As you're resting here, say to yourself, thank you for the many blessings I have been bestowed with. May these blessings multiply as I continue to notice and give thanks to them. Thank you to the universe. So rest here for a few minutes in gratitude. Bring awareness to your breath and slowly deepen your inhales and your exhales. Bring in energy and oxygen to your body. Feel your fingers and toes start to wiggle as they become energized. And as you continue to breathe deeply, feel some movement in your arms and legs. And then when you're ready in your own time, roll onto your right side. Use your right arm as a little pillow, maybe drawing your knees up towards your chest. And take another minute in gratitude. And thank yourself for practicing today and taking time for self-care. And then when you're ready, press yourself up into a seated position. Draw your hands to your heart with your palms together, sitting up tall. We'll take one last breath as a class together. So take a full deep inhale and let the air go. So I would like to express my gratitude for you for coming to practice and showing up, supporting me. Namaste.